Who do you look up to? Everyone has been presented with this question at some point in their lives. Most people's responses are their parents, grandparents, older siblings, or older peers. It may seem hard to believe that the person I looked up to most was 3 years younger than me. But this wasn't any ordinary person. He was a cousin, a brother I never had, a friend, but most importantly, a fighter. Joseph Albert Birchwell and I developed a unique relationship at a very early age. He was my only boy cousin, and because we weren't too far apart in age, we developed that brotherly relationship very quickly. We also only lived a few towns away, so getting together on weekends was a common occurrence. No one could predict what was about to happen and how it would permanently change our family. In 2005, Joe was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, which is a cancerous tumor on the bone of his left leg. According to Jeff Martin, who works in the Department of Pediatric Laboratory Medicine in Toronto, osteosarcoma is the most common bone malignancy in pediatric patients, and even though the survival rate is 60 to 70%, we were still very concerned. The only two options were to either have it amputated or put him through a high-risk surgery that could potentially result in permanent leg damage. He chose the first option and had his leg amputated. I couldn't even imagine being 8 years old and having to make that decision. With intense physical therapy and a great amount of determination, Joe was not only able to walk with a prosthetic leg, but was cancer-free as well. Almost 5 years passed by, and I've never seen someone love life more than Joe during that time period. He truly never took a day for granted. Joe and his family went on a Mediterranean cruise, courtesy of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He told me it was one of the best vacations he ever went on. Right before the 5th year anniversary of his amputation, he was diagnosed with a second cancer, completely unrelated to the first. It spread to his heart, lung, and brain, and required more intense surgery, followed by heavy doses of chemotherapy and radiation. In this situation, you would expect any 14-year-old boy to want to give up after hearing this news, but not Joe. He would not only refuse to show any signs of pain or weakness, but pray before every single meal for at least 10 minutes, thanking God for each day he was still alive. This was so admirable to me, and I can't stress the amount of love and respect I have for him. He fought on for about 10 more months until one day, my mom received a phone call from my uncle. On April 28, 2012, Joe Birchwell, the boy who I thought was invincible, passed away. I was in denial and couldn't imagine my life without him. But as time went on, I started to realize that he is in a better place now and won't have to deal with the pain and suffering any longer. To this day, I still compare Joe's story to Jimmy Valvano's famous quote in his 1993 ESPY speech, "Don't give up, don't ever give up." Joe was able to live life to the fullest and take nothing for granted. So I use his story as inspiration to never give up on my goals, whether they're big or small. Joe touched the lives of so many people, and although he's gone, he'll never be forgotten.